It was fall in the forest. The leaves had started to fall. The days were getting shorter. The days were being cooler, and the nights were almost cold. This is almost one of the little bird's favorite times a year. He had finally, throughout the summer, through all of his adventures and all of his growing up, was no longer called the baby bluebird. He's now just called Little Bird, and that's what he wants. He wants to grow up, and he wants to be a big bird. But for now, his name's Little Bird. And he's still ornery, and he still eats grubs, and he still likes to fart, and all of those things. So, anyway, let's go to the nest and see how he's doing. It's early morning. The little bird is up, and he's looking around the nest for the daddy bird. And the daddy bird, well, of course, he's out hunting for breakfast for the little bird. The little bird is almost to the point where he can get breakfast himself, but the daddy bird still, on Sundays, gets the little guy his breakfast. And it gives the little bird a chance to kind of hang out and relax, because he has to go to school all week long with all the other birds. And he likes to go to school, but he really likes to stay home the most. So he's in his nest, and he's happy. He's not hungry, so he doesn't even care if he gets breakfast. He's just looking out of the nest, looking at all the trees, and the leaves are blowing, and they're falling down on the ground, and he can hear crickets chirping. He can hear other birds waking up and playing. And all of a sudden he remembered one of his favorite games. He loves to play in the leaves. He gets so excited waiting for the daddy bird to come back. He's jumping around the nest, looking down at the ground, listening, and finally he can hear the daddy bird's chirps and his wings flapping. And he finally comes back to the nest, and the baby bird is so excited. "What do you got to eat, daddy bird?" Worms today." "I love worms. Give 'em. Daddy bird, once we get done with breakfast, can we go play with the leaves?" "Well, sure. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do today, little bird." I almost called you baby bird, didn't I? "It's okay, daddy bird. I don't mind being called baby bird sometimes. I just like to be thought of as a little bird." "Okay, well, little bird, as soon as we get finished, we'll go play in the leaves." "Oh, thank you, daddy bird." So the baby bird ate his breakfast. He brushed his beak, and he got himself ready, and out they went. Now, the baby bird can fly really good now. So they flew over to a clearing in the woods where the most leaves land at every year. And the daddy bird and the little bird, they take their wings while they're on the ground, and they flap them, and it blows all the leaves. And what they do is they start out in a really big ring with the little bird on one side and the daddy bird on the other, and they work towards the middle to make a really big pile of leaves. Now, there's a reason why the little bird loves the big pile of leaves. Well, they worked, and they worked, and they worked, and it takes a long time to get these leaves piled up just right. Well, they finally got them all piled up. No sticks in them, just leaves. Fresh brown leaves that are real crunchy and fluffy. And the daddy bird says, "Little bird, do you remember what to do?" "Oh, yes, I do, daddy bird. Yes, I do." The little bird flew straight up into the sky, and he got far away, and he started flapping his wings as fast as he could and flying as hard as he could back towards the pile of leaves. And when he gets close to the leaves, he swoops down really low to the ground, and he flies right along the ground, just a few inches above the grass, and he crashes right into the big pile, and he loves it. He puts his wings back and his head down and closes his eyes, and he just rams into the pile. Well, they keep straightening it up, and they do it over and over. Even the daddy bird's taking turns, and the baby bird loves it the most when the daddy bird takes a turn, because the daddy bird is big and fast. And when he hits the leaf pile, the leaves go flying in the air everywhere, and they just roll on the ground, and they laugh so hard. This is one of the little bird's favorite things to do all year, is to play in this leaf pile with the daddy bird. They do it all day, and the daddy bird finally says, "Baby bird, oh, excuse me, little bird, I think it's time to go home." "Yeah, daddy bird, I'm pretty tired, and I'm pretty hungry too." So they take off and they head back to the nest, and they eat dinner, and they have a real good time. Well, the daddy bird says, "I've got some things to go do, little bird. Why don't you play with your friends or do whatever you want until it gets dark?" "Okay, that's good, daddy bird. That's what I'll do." So the daddy bird took off to go take care of some things he had to get done, and the baby bird went down and went right back to the clearing where the big leaves were. Well, he looked all around on the ground everywhere, and he finally found exactly what he was looking for: grubs. He had a plan, and this was one of his favorite fall things to do. He ate as many grubs as he could, and he went over and he started working on the leaves. And he got them all piled up really high. And he crawls inside of them. And he sits quietly and he listens. He listens for anything he can hear coming near him. He hears footsteps, little footsteps coming. He knows it's either a fox or a rabbit or a possum or something like that. And he knows that they're going to want to get in a pile and sleep. He hunkers down. He waits till they get close. He can hear their footsteps. And as soon as they get close, he lets the hugest fart, and the leaves go flying up in the air all around like a giant explosion. And whatever it was took off running so fast away from it, the little bird didn't even get to see what it was. He loved this game, so he piled them all up again as fast as he could, and he jumped inside and he waits. He heard wings this time, and he heard them, and they flew down, and he could tell they were getting ready to jump in his pile. And just about the time the bird got near, he could hear the air rushing under the bird's wings. Leaves explode into the air, and the bird turns as fast as it can and chirps as loud as it can, and the little bird jumps up out of the pile and looks up, and he can see it flying away going as fast as it can. He is the scare master during the fall in the forest. Well, while he's doing this, somebody that he knows has been watching. "Oh, baby bird." "Shut up. I'm not baby bird anymore. I'm little bird." "Well, hi. Would you like to eat me?" "No, I don't want to eat you. Leave me alone and go away." "I've been watching you. I want to play too." "What do you mean you want to play too?" "Well, I have an idea." "Like what?" "Well, I think if we put a big stick in the pile, and I sit on the top of the stick and I say, 'Come and eat me,' birds will fly down here and they'll try to get me, and you can fart and blow it up and we can see it scare them." The baby bird was like, "Oh man, this is a great idea. This is really a good idea." And he kind of scratches his head and looks around and he goes, "You aren't trying to trick me, are you?" No. I want to play too. This looks like so much fun." As long as you don't try to eat me." "I'm never going to try to eat you. I don't even like you that much." Well, they pile up the leaves. The baby bird found a stick, with a Y on the end of it. And the little wormy crawled up on it and got up on top. And the baby bird got down, or little bird got down into the pile, and they waited. And the little wormy was on the top, and he goes, "Oh, birdies, don't you want to come and eat me? I'm so fat and tasty." And of course, the birds can hear him, and they definitely want to come and eat him. No doubt about it. Here comes the first one, flying down as fast as he can, and the little worm wiggles to make sure he can see him. And as soon as the bird gets close to baby bird, little bird blows the whole pile up in the air, and the bird hits the leaves and falls down and takes off running on his feet. This bird was so scared, and the bird is going, ah, ah, ah. And because it's a little bird, and it scared him so bad, he's running off in the forest trying to find either his mom or his dad. The little worm and the little bird are rolling in the leaves, laughing so hard because they scared somebody. And they scared them really good. So they piled them all back up. And they kept doing it over and over again to where they had scared at least 10 different birds that day. Well, it was time for the baby bird or the little bird to go home. And the wormy said, "Let's just do this one more time." So the little worm gets up on top. Baby bird gets down inside the leaves, little bird. And they wait. Well, they hear big bird coming. Big wings flapping. It is a big crow. A big black crow. It is so big, and it's flying straight down. And the little wormy is actually a little bit scared this time because he's like, oh no, crows aren't usually scared of anything. He turns around and he wiggles and he goes down the stick as fast as he can to try to get down in the pile because he thinks he's going to be safe. And the crow comes flying down, and the baby bird blows the leaves all over the place, and the crow just sort of sit on the stick and looked around, and he went, where'd that wormy go? And the crow starts digging around in the leaves, going crazy trying to find the worm. He's flicking leaves here and flicking leaves there. The little worm is definitely afraid. He is pretty sure this is the end of the line for him. The little bird says, "Wormy, because you've been my friend today and we played, hurry up and get on my back, and I'm going to take off running out of here. And if he doesn't see us, we'll escape." So the wormy said, "Yes." And he gets on his back, and the little bird goes, 3, 2, 1, and takes off running on the ground as fast as he can. The crow sticks his head up out of the pile and looks around because he heard a noise. Looks to the left, looks to the right, and then he sees a shadow running across the ground. Maybe that worm, he says, and he takes off flying in that direction. The worm says, "Baby bird, he's coming now. Hurry up, you gotta go fast." And the baby bird is running as fast as he can on the ground, and the worm is holding on tight as he can, and the big crow is right behind him. And all of a sudden, the baby bird lets the biggest, most disgusting The crow got one whiff and just fell on the ground. It was so disgusting that even the crow couldn't stand the smell of the baby bird's humongous gas fart. The worm goes, "Oh, thank goodness." And the baby bird takes off flying, and the worm goes, "Yeah, baby bird, little bird, put me down, I don't want to fly. We're flying. I'm out of here before that crow wakes up. "Man, I don't want to fly. I'm so scared." And the worm is petrified that he's going to fly off or fall off. And the baby little bird is flying through the woods and going around trees and up and down and up and down. And he finally makes it back to his nest, and the little bird lands in his nest, and the worm's on his back, and the worm doesn't even know he's in a nest. He's got his eyes closed, hiding in the feathers. And the little bird looks out over the edge of the nest for the crow, and he can't see him anywhere. And he thinks, oh, I lost him. Cool. And the little wormy finally looks up and goes, where are we? We're in our nest. And I got to tell you what, you better get out of here before my daddy bird comes back, because he likes to eat worms, and he will eat you really fast too. So you better go. Oh no, everything's happening to me today. All I wanted to do was play. All right, well, hop on my back and I'll fly you down to the ground and then you can go from there. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. The worm got on the little bird's back. Little bird jumped down over the edge of the nest and flew down to the ground and led him safely off into the ground and into the forest. And the little bird flew back up to the nest and he sat down, and the daddy bird wasn't there yet, but he thought to himself, what a great day I had. I got to play in the leaves with my daddy bird, which I love to play in the leaves with the daddy bird. I got to scare so many birds today with my exploding leaf pile. And I think I even made a friend with that little worm who's always teasing me and trying to get me to eat him. This was really the best day I've had in a long time. I can't wait till tomorrow. The end.